morning, good afternoon, and good evening, viewers. Welcome once more to Requiem for London. Our scene is set at the Travelodge once again. It is a very awkward scene, shall we say, for those who are sitting in a particular room right now, and the one who is on her way to said room right now. A meeting has been scheduled, a meeting that all parties involved have agreed to. One brought about by quite an interesting turn of events these past few nights. Miss Adriana Abruzzo would have received a phone call just a couple of hours ago, not too long. She has had a very rough night herself, by the sounds of it, but nonetheless, a very politeful voice on the other end, belonging to one Mortimer Fitzgerald, had asked for her presence to come to his accommodations for the time being, and that he very much needed her help and the help of the Invictus, for he needed to report that his friend, Clay Brothers, has been, according to the witness, beaten into torpor. As Miss Abruzzo's cab or car, whichever she decides to take tonight, drives up to the Travelodge, what is on her mind as she gets out?
Adriana has much on her mind over the last few nights. In particular, the previous night, where it was ultimately brought to her attention that her nightmares that have been waking her up in pools of nasty, sticky, bloody sweat are more than just that. Also, there is a countdown on, and she waits with a mixture of apprehension and anticipation for justice to be meted out in some way, some small way. However, she remembers being promised that favors Adriana has provided to Mr. Fitzgerald and Miss Brothers in the past would be repaid, and yet here she is being asked to intervene in a serious situation. Perhaps Nora is right about connections to others, but nevertheless, upon hearing of the potential seriousness of the situation, she does go to the Travelodge, and as she steps out of the taxi, she kind of looks up at the building and remembers the last time she was here and the tragic events that occurred, ultimately leading to the final death of a Mr. Chester Hill, in which Adriana probably had some culpability. She walks around the office and takes a quick nonchalant look in and sees that there is another night manager there, not the one who had given them so many problems. However, this time Adriana has been given the room number and floor where Mr. Fitzgerald is waiting. She will be making her way up the stairs to the room.
As she is walking up the stairs, what awaits her when she reaches the door of the room, but yet unbeknownst to her, is just two individuals in a room with the many members of the Mythic League in the adjoined room. They have vacated the premise because of the mood their benefactor is in right now, and as one Emma Bellafleur sits there with Miss Brothers, almost as though she is asleep on one of the beds, with this Mortimer Fitzgerald just staring down at her, sitting right next to a bed like a family member visiting someone in the hospital. She will recall very clearly the events that transpired earlier when she finally got a hold of Mr. Fitzgerald, when his, shall we say, sarcastic mood had melted away to this, well, you would not know it as uncharacteristic, but judging by the mood of all of their retainers, their ghouls, whoever these hanger-ons that Chloe and Mortimer keep with them, as they vacated the premise. This does not seem to be his normal state of mind. He has not spoken since then. All he asked was for you to please stay here. He is going to call for help, and he will need you to recount the events that transpired again. What goes through Miss Bellaflora's mind as she awkwardly waits in this silent room?
Emma is tonight she is dressed in a very discreet compared to what she normally wears. She has a white shirt which is still frilly around the collar because it's Emma. It's but it has a she has a black vest, black skirt, and plain black high heels on, and her hair is done up. So it's something that is very discreet to what she normally wears, and she is waiting, wondering who the hell Mortimer called, and she's the whole time she's just wondering who Mortimer is calling, and that's what her mind has been busy on doing.
A knock at the door will signal that Adriana has arrived, unbeknownst to Emma Delafour. Mortimer will almost startle, then remember who it was that he had called. He gets up without saying a word and approaches the door. In a state, he doesn't even bother to look through the peephole, he just opens it. And he will beckon Adriana into the room. He just nods his head and says, "Thank you for coming." But even now, Adriana can tell that this is not the expression that you remember from this individual last time you.
Yes, the kind of this bookish gentleman she met about a month or two ago. You know, she can sense the seriousness and the gravity of the situation. You know, as he opened the door, he saw Adriana in a long wool coat, kind of with her hands folded in the front, and she was about to maybe say something a little insensitive as he opened the door, such as, you know, why are you bothering me? But immediately she decided that was not the appropriate approach. As she enters the room, what does she see again? There are several other people there aside from you two. I think Ben might be
No,
frozen.
but you would definitely
Oh,
hear
there he
lots of
is.
heartbeats in the room adjacent to this one right now.
Okay, so right now it's
At
just
least, yeah, it's just the three kindred, now four, and at least five heartbeats coming from the room adjacent, connected by a door.
Adriana closes the door behind her and looks and sees Emma, whom she is familiar with, and gives a quizzical look to Mortimer, but she will say, Miss Emma.
Miss Abrizo, and Emma will smile and extend a hand.
Adriana will, in one motion, kind of take Emma's hand and shake it quickly and look to Mortimer and say, now, how much did he tell her on the phone?
What was that?
How much did he tell her on the phone?
He basically said that his friend Claude Brothers was beaten into torpor,
Okay.
and he has a witness who will be able to retell the full events since he would not want to give false information over the phone. Which, again, it would definitely have come across as an odd thing for this individual to say, because he has been just a blabbermouth from the moment you've met him.
Right. So in the one motion, she will shake Emma's hand quickly and turn and will say, are you quite sure she's in the condition you think she is?
As he will just frown and look at her and then nod and say, "It's not the first time this has happened. It is unfortunate she is known to be a bit reckless despite what I try to warn her about. But it's who she is." I had hoped that you might know somebody who is more potent, somebody who could wake her. I know that I'm already in your debt for everything that you've done to allow us into the sea, and you know that myself, Miss Brothers, and all of our retainers are at your disposal. But nonetheless, well, this is outrageous. Miss Ellafleur, could you please retell the events that transpired at this Brixton place?
Of course. And yep, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Right as Adriana was removing her coat to go inspect Miss Brothers, who was on the couch, as soon as he says Brixton, Adriana's head just kind of snaps to him and says, "She set foot in that shithole."
As he grinds his teeth, and he will say, like I said, she is who she is. She likes to explore places many of us would not dare to tread.
Adriana will nod and toss her coat on the couch next to where Chloe is, and she will kneel down and just kind of start inspecting her, and she will say, "Emma, I'm assuming you were there?"
Yes, I wasn't I wasn't the one to do anything against her though. On the contrary, I tried to help her. Uh, we went to the Brixton um as Chloe had invited me. Not my favorite place in the world, but well, she wanted me to invite me here so that I could get a taste on what it is to fight. And small guys, I need to defend myself after all. And so she decided to take me to the Brixton. And as we saw a number of kindred move into a different room, Chloe wanted us to follow them, and as she tried to get in, and the bouncer or security was telling us not telling us which he couldn't let us in, she asked me to help as a mark of friendship. I did, and I got us in. And when we got in, it was quite a view. The owner of the place, that Johnny person, was going on about getting revenge and had a skull in her hands. She turned to us and said we had to fight, as this was our first time in here. I I don't know about Chloe, but I for one didn't even know what this place was. And this is when McGee first appeared. He told us that he would fight us. Having known
So,
McGee, yeah,
Adrian will be able to tell without a roll that Mortimer gets physically tense and noticeably more angry when the name McGee is mentioned.
and
Understood.
goes. So I first went and well, I showed them at how nimble I showed them that I was nimble and hard to hit, but as far as fighting goes, I'm really not that good and didn't last long. And then Chloe went into the pit, and well, she went quite frankly went full on decide what she fought with, which I would have guessed, which I guess is what she always does. She fought with everything she had. Thing was, McGee had the upper hand, and after a while, she lost control. I tried to break the fight, but the Carthians and at least the Brixton and the census rule said they couldn't break up the fight until one of them was down or thrown out of the ring. I asked McGee to throw her out of the ring or something. Something had to be done. She was going to kill somebody, or somebody was going to kill her if it kept up that way. Which, unfortunately, in the end, is what happened. She will be back with us, fortunately. But McGee didn't listen to me, and the two went on fighting and throwing punches at each other. McGee eventually won, and when she was unconscious, John asked when she was unconscious, the crowd decided to let her live. Unfortunately, they didn't know what to do with the body, so I told them I would take care of it, that I would even give the body to, and she'll turn to Mortimer, to her dear friend. And she'll turn to McGee, to Mortimer, and she says, "Again, I am sorry. I tried to help her."
As Adriana is listening to this tale, and there are certain words that Emma says that will cause her to just kind of look over. And as Mortimer seems extremely upset, now so does Adriana, but for different reasons. When she says, they were just there to have a good time and that they had to fight and didn't leave. She kind of shot a glance at Emma when he says McGee was involved. She will look over at Emma again and just shake her head, as she knows McGee. And as she's inspecting Chloe, just kind of turning her head and checking her mouth, making sure she doesn't have any visible injuries that could become lethal if revived. She will look to Emma and she will say, "Emma, are you quite sure you didn't know what the Brixton was before you went there? Because that is the last place newcomers to the city should ever go."
She said, "I knew what the Brixton was. I didn't know what that place at the back was."
She will kind of look a little defeated, and she kind of deflates a little bit, and you can just hear under her breath, but it's loud enough for everyone to hear, and she says, "Fucking Carthians. All they bring to this city is misery and destruction, and here this girl, McGee almost tore her apart. I know McGee. This is not the McGee that I know." And she just shakes her head, and she looks to Mortimer, just to idea of where he's at, and she says, "There's a chance I may be able to help her, but I can't make a guarantee. If I can't help her situation, I hope you understand that."
He closes his eyes and nods his head. He doesn't say anything. His fists are clenched right now as he sort of turns around so that he's looking down, standing up now, just looking down at Chloe's torpored form. As he just says, "I would have almost expected something like this of my own covenant. But Carthians having blood sport, This is...
She will kind of... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, as he will just sort of trail off as he's still sort of in a bit of disbelief trying to really comprehend everything. It's becoming clear that he certainly did not know what his friend was getting into until after she got back.
She will look to Chloe again, her silent form, so different from the girl she met when Mortimer came to town, and she will say, "The Carthians have run wild in this city for far too long, and I assure everyone here that playtime is rapidly coming to an end for them." And she will look to Emma, and she said, I have a question for you, and I need you to be completely honest with me, Emma. I'm not mad at you. Chloe was not my friend, but I need you to answer it. Do you understand?
Emma will nod.
She will say, after McGee finished torpor, what was his demeanor? What did he say?
It was strange. Something in him seemed proud of fighting, having beaten another kindred. But when I talked to him, he seemed to have some kind of doubt to it, to some kind of maybe regret, a slight amount of it.
And he has not reached out to make amends or anything like that.
She said, she'll say, unfortunately, no. I have met McGee, and this was quite unlike him. He had even said that Mortimer could find him. He could come and find him if he wished. And she'll look to Adriana, and she says, I am worried about him. I think he is, whoever he has guided him, has misguided him.
Oh, well, there's a shock. The Carthians misguiding their own. It says dripping sarcasm. I'm not sure. Emma and Adriana have not spent that much time together, but she was never this hateful towards the Carthians in the past. Something has obviously changed. She will head back over to Chloe and kind of brush the hair out of her face. And she will say, I know it is part of the Gangrel way to test each other, but my understanding is that Carthians have the right to enforce final death on you if they don't think you are of metal. It's ridiculous. And your friend here has walked into that. She will turn to Mortimer and she will say, if you two are to stay here, if she continues to make these sorts of decisions, I can't guarantee that I or anyone can protect you. Do you think it's even wise that I try and raise her?
It is not a matter about whether or not it is wise. Mortimer will say in a very steady voice, but it is definitely holding back a lot of emotions right now. As he continues, she is exactly who she is. Nothing is going to change that. That does not mean she should have to suffer because of the egos of others. There was nothing pure about that. That was nothing to exalt the blood or to challenge the beast. That was a gross perversion of blood sport. I've heard this story several times. If it is the predator who wishes to test themselves, then test themselves. But to put someone at the mercy of a crowd, a crowd of sycophants.
An excellent word, sycophants. That's all they are. Mindless drones following the barkings of dogs. She will look to Emma and she will say, Emma, could you please stand next to Mr. Fitzgerald, please? He may need someone to lean on.
She'll nod and she'll say, of course. And she'll come to Mortimer and she'll put a friendly. She'll grab him like in a friendly way and see, and she'll ask again. I'm sorry. I hope you're all right.
As Emma approaches,
I'm sorry. Look at the hand and then just sort of look at you. It is appreciated, but he's allowing it this once. He makes that clear in that look.
As Emma is dealing with Mortimer, Adriana begins to roll up her shirt sleeve and she puts her bag down and fishes in her bag for a sharp pocket knife that she has with her, part of her gear. And she will say, I'm not sure if you all know this, but I am the child of the sheriff. It is possible I may be able to raise her alone, but if I can't, I will need to tell him. And in fact, it's likely I'm going to need to inform what's going on at the Brixton. Regardless, are you all okay with that? Because it is like...
Understand this. Even after everything that Chloe and I owe you, there is nothing that I would not do to avenge this slight.
She will look at Mortimer right in the eye, and she will nod because she sees that he is serious. And unlike other kindred she meets in town, putting on airs or appear to be attempting to sweet talk her into doing something she doesn't want to do, he desperately needs her help. And this is why she does what she does. It's why she works for the security agency. It's why she does what her sire tells her to do, mostly. Now, I need storyteller input here. Just slash and go, because I don't think we've done this in Requiem. Raising someone.
Raising someone from torpor? I really think it's as simple as you just, like, spilling vitae into their mouth. And then once they absorb it, then I think they just come back awake. I don't think it's the roll. I think they still have to roll for, like, the vitae addiction and the blood bond. But other than that,
yeah.
it's instantaneous.
I think they need to be 2 ranks
Oh yes,
higher.
it does need to be higher blood potency.
But it's 2, isn't it? It's like 2 ranks higher.
Yeah, it does need to have higher blood potency. No, I think it's just 1 rank higher.
Just 1? Oh, okay.
But just to make sure,
I believe if Chloe is 1 rank, then I can do this. So.
Let me just.
Do you need to check, Ben?
Mm-hmm. All right, so. Okay. Torpor.
Because if it's more than 1, I'm not going to be able to, out of character.
Let's see here. Any vampire, yeah, it is 2 or more dots of blood potency. Damn it.
Oh.
Yes, only a kindred with blood potency 3 would be able to raise Chloe at this point.
Hmm.
Damn.
I'm not that powerful, honey. Sorry. Try, right?
Yeah. In this case, I'd say that like Adriana would like has been like told like the basics, like all you have to do is just give them some blood, and if you have enough like potency, then it should be able to raise them. Um, but when you try to do this, like there's no response, there's no stirring.
Okay. Um, I'm trying to think if there isn't any ritual or anything that would be able to temporarily raise blood potency, would there be?
There probably is, but it would probably be a very high level crack ritual, like something that
Okay.
Mortimer did probably maybe like a 3 or 4, even 5 one. Definitely something that Mortimer doesn't have in his arsenal right now.
Okay.
I think this is just going to be a sad moment where, despite like the best
Yeah.
efforts, like uh, Chloe just doesn't stir, and Mortimer will just close his eyes in
Yeah, because I
anxiety.
don't think we really have any player characters that have 3, at least not before this
Yeah,
downtime.
yeah. It looks
To
like Adriana's gonna need to ask a favor of her sire or one of the other members of the Invictus then.
Yeah, Ben, you and I will discuss after we close up. So Adriana will attempt. However, after she drips some of her vitae into Chloe's mouth, after she kind of pushes it open a little bit, after a few moments, it's clear that she may be stronger than some, but not as strong as she needs to be. And she kind of drops her head and looks to Mortimer, and she says, "I'm so sorry. Um, I don't believe I can do this. Her damage may be too great. Like I said, there may be a plan B here, but it's just bad all around, Mortimer. I'm sorry."
If there is anyone you know who has the power to raise her, I would be in their debt and yours. But I realize that this is a possibility. Well, at least she's still here in a manner of speaking.
Um, Adriana will turn to Emma, and she will say, "Emma, is there anyone in the sanctum who would be willing to assist? I know part of their calling is situations like this."
Shall say I'll ask. We are looking into bettering better our relations, and I'm sure if we can help, then we will be happy to.
As Mortimer's
She will turn
frown,
back.
or frown will drop even more at the mention of the sanctified, and he will say, "As much as I respect the help, I would much rather be indebted to the first estate than the second, Miss Bellafleur. As you probably have suspected, I am not exactly a upstanding churchgoer."
And no one knows.
Adriana looks as though Adriana looks as though she's about to protest, but then she remains silent as at this point it's above her pay grade, as we say. And she will turn to Mortimer and she will say, "I can assist in keeping Miss Brothers safe if this is what you want, and I can consult with my people. I will tell you I can have an answer very quickly, but like I said, this is not going to stop here. Once I involve the people I need to, things may get ugly, and I apologize for that, but we're on the brink of war as it is."
Ugly is a state of opinion. really, this is a possibility for all of us, by our very nature. Nonetheless,
So I'm
I
out of
will not
character.
let it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, basically, he was going to say, nonetheless, I will make those who did this pay.
Um, Out of character, I was just going to say, and I apologize, we seem to have a little bit of lag tonight. Don't mean to be talking over people. I've used my mentor dot, I believe, already this month, but I still can use my contacts in Chimera. So what I would want to do right now is call someone to have Chloe transported to my safe house where I keep Haven in one of Chimera's buildings. Storyteller.
I see. You have contacts, right? Do you have any
Yes,
allies at Chimera?
I don't.
Do you have any resource dots?
Yes, two.
Oh yeah, you can just spend one of the resource dots in order to grease the wheels. Like, hey, let me use this. It's like the people to talk to. Spend a little bit of that moolah, and you'll be able to get it that way.
Okay, so what will happen next is Adriana will walk into the bathroom and she will make a phone call. And the phone call will contain certain code words that anyone listening probably would not be able to understand what she's saying. But when she comes back from the bathroom, she will say, I have transport to a safe place. And at that point, we can see about if we're able to revive this young lady. Any of you object?
Mortimer will nod his head.
She will look to Mortimer and say, how did you get her into the hotel room? Because we need to get her out and into the car when it arrives.
We Let us say that the old drunk friend trick was able to work.
Understood. She will ask two more questions. The first question is, your friends next door, I'm assuming they're your friends, or are they just partygoers?
Is he to sort of motion towards the people in the other room?
Yes.
They're friends.
I'm assuming they'll be discreet about this?
To the letter.
While they wait for the car, she looks at Mortimer and very seriously, and she'll kind of step in front of him and she'll say, Mr. Fitzgerald, I need you to, if you cannot make me a promise, I won't make you, but I need you to understand something. So please listen very carefully to what I have to say to you. Mr. McGee is dangerous, violent, volatile, and absolutely lethal. I'm going to ask you to refrain from, what's the word, tagging him about this until I speak with Sire. Because he will kill you. And he will barely twitch a finger. I've seen him in action.
Mortimer is going to do something funny when you tell that to him. He's going to have a smile ever so slightly just crawl across his face. And it's a very unsettling smile and belays, or should I say betrays, something that he does not like to put off very much. Is that there is sort of the challenge to overcome that excites him, but he nonetheless nods his head. I will withhold my revenge until after my friend is back on her feet, and the least collateral damage will be done.
She will nod and just kind of briefly touch Mortimer on the shoulder, and she will say thank you. And she will look over to Emma, and she will say, from what I'm hearing, Mr. McGee appears to be on a downward spiral that not even I could yank him out of. Not that he would listen to someone from the First Estate at this point anyway. But we do what we can.
Emma will look at him and goes, who would Mickey listen to?
If he is anything like my friend, he'll only listen to somebody who can best him, at the very least show dominance. But that's just what I have to go over right now. Really, I would have to talk with the person myself to know more, and I will. Assured, I will. There's something you two should know about me, again, if you have not already assumed it. Because you have done me so many great favors, and I am in your debt as well, Emma. You're not too bad. For a priest, that is.
Emma was small.
I am an acolyte of the Mother's army. There will be blood. Do you understand?
Emma nods her head and goes, I understand you seek revenge, yes.
No. Revenge for me personally. Blood for my heritage. If you understood, Emma, you would not be a priest.
Upon hearing that Mortimer is part of the Mother's army, she smirks because she recently saw the power of one of the Mother's army inflicted against, curiously enough, another Carthian. And she will say, well, it appears that the Carthians are leaving no one unscathed. It's only a matter of time before they go after someone like poor Emma, and we wish to avoid that, don't we?
Emma will say, I wish to avoid that most out of everyone here, I believe.
As they conclude talking, Adriana's cell phone will go off, and she's notified that the car is downstairs, and he's parked close enough to the stairwell as he can. It is at night, and there aren't people necessarily wandering around, maybe somebody here and there. She looks to realizing that Emma is probably not going to be able to assist with doing the drunk walk with Chloe. And she says, shall we? To Morty.
Oh, you sort of lagged. What was that?
Oh, sorry. She's basically asking if Mortimer is going to be able to help Adriana carry Chloe out with the drunk walk.
Oh, he'll nod. He'll just sort of help Chloe up. Make sure, Emma, gets her on the other side, and then he'll say, on three, then, love.
Do we need to roll for strength or anything?
No need for dice this time. She's in torpor, so we'll just say an auto.
She's not struggling.
Mortimer has vigor. He can probably do this himself if it wouldn't be a massive masquerade bridge. Or maybe not even a massive masquerade bridge, but it certainly would draw more attention than would be necessary.
True. So Adriana will fix herself underneath one arm of Chloe, and Mortimer will get the other. She will turn to Emma and she will say, can you please get my bag and my coat, Emma?
Of course, Emma will do so.
And before they open the door, she turns to Morty and she says quickly and quietly, She will open the door,
Nod.
and they will make their way upstairs with their poor drunk friend who needs to be taken home. There is a black, something resembling a town car, whatever the English equivalent of that is. They help Chloe into the back. Emma's behind them, I'm taking it.
Yep.
She will say to Emma, "Do you need a ride somewhere?"
She'll say, no, I have someone.
And she will say, "Thank you, Emma, for telling me the truth and being honest." No, you are not in the trunk. Emily, you are in the back seat. Mr. Fitzgerald, if you would like to stay in the secure lodgings until we figure out the best course of action.
Okay, I guess I lied. There's going to be at least one roll tonight, as
Okay.
Mortimer is going to just sort of look at Adriana, and he's going to give a wits plus empathy check to see about her, sort of get a feel for her intentions. Is she being sincere? Is she really trying to protect Chloe? Is this, some sort of like kindred political move that it's just the song and dance for the Invictus? Like, there's this secure facility. It's not much.
Go ahead. Do you need dice, man, or I can roll for you if you want. Remember what I rolled for Nora earlier?
Yep, yeah, I'm hoping he'll just, I can see everything.
I can see everything. The
The
rain.
rain is gone.
It was Cedar Graves the whole time. Alright, so it'll be 3 and empathy for 5. And minus your subterfuge, or would you like to make it a contested roll?
You can just do minus my subterfuge. I don't think she would be contesting. She is a bit caught up in her irrational hatred of the Carthians at the moment. So what is my subterfuge, right? I'm gonna have to start highlighting shit on my sheet. Seriously. Okay, my subterfuge is only 1, so.
Alright, so that's just going to be 4 dice for Mortimer.
4 dice for you. Okay, 1 success.
So, just simple success.
So you would get the impression, I don't know how to communicate this all in 1 success. You would feel some conflict within her, but the conflict would be between helping someone who seriously needs it and exacting justice.
Alright, then in that case he will just actually smile and he'll say, "It's alright, I think I will stay with the rest of the Mythic League. I'd hate to think of the trouble they'll get into without me around. Just promise me you'll look after her." And there's something that Adriana might not have ever heard before from a kindred. He is genuinely sincere. That's almost a plea from a friend right there. An honest to God plea. It is bare, it is raw, and it is aimed at you.
She will nod and she will say, "Understood. So if you wish, you can ride along. If this is as far as you go, call me tomorrow evening."
As he'll nod, as he'll give one last look over Chloe, and then head back into the night and towards the travel lodge. He will give Emma a nod as she heads off into the distance too, and he will thank her for bringing his friend to him.
Go ahead, Nelson.
Emma will turn to Adriana and she'll say, "Take good care of her."
Adriana will nod.
She'll say, if you are in need of help, the sanctified and I are more than happy to lend a hand.
As Adriana's positioning herself to kind of let Chloe's head rest on her shoulder, to really give the drunk friend an impression, before she rolls the window up, she will say, Emma, stay away from McGee for the foreseeable future. Your life may depend on it.
She'll nod. She'll say, thank you for your concern.
And with that, she will zip, roll up the window, and they will head off to Adriana's secure haven in Canary Wharf. And Adriana will be making some phone calls before the evening is over.
All right. And any last words from Miss Bellafleur?
No, Emma will get in the back of her. Will get in the back of the car. With the driver waiting, and she'll just tell the driver to drive away.
All right. And is that, yeah, that's it for both perspectives then?
I think we can end there. Great spot.
Okay, then we will, one last tiny thing. All that is all going on deep inside of the torpor trains of one Chloe Brothers, in that surreal and horrible state, the sleep of death, she will dream, as almost though she's moving through water. And off in the distance, she'll hear a roar, something that she hasn't heard for a very long time, and on some instinctual level, she will know her friend has begun down a dark path once again. And that is where we will end our scene. Thank you all for watching. Have a lovely night.